The Way That Walks With Me by someone who's still becoming. This isn't a blueprint. This isn't a 10-step plan to heal your trauma or a golden promise that you'll never feel lost again. This is a path. A living, breathing, shape-shifting journey walked in bare feet and sometimes broken sandals. It's messy, but it's real. I'm not here to tell you what enlightenment is. I'm just here to tell you the truth. Healing is possible. Growth is cyclical. And your story, no matter how complicated or painful, is not a mistake. I've walked through dark nights where my soul forgot the sound of hope. I've confronted myself in the mirror and seen both the destroyer and the healer. I've held the sacred feminine in one hand and the wounded masculine in the other, trying to figure out how they could coexist inside the same human body. And you know what? They can. They do, and so can you. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to be someone else. It doesn't start with clarity. It starts with a crack. Not a grand vision, not a moment of transcendence, but something subtle and painful, like a conversation that leaves you hollow, or the ache of a life that looks fine on the outside, but doesn't feel like yours anymore. For me, it wasn't one trauma. It was the quiet accumulation of years. Suppressing pain, wearing masks, playing roles that looked strong but felt hollow. Then came the crack. A burning sky in my soul I couldn't ignore. And I had to ask the question, is this all there is? That question didn't destroy me. It saved me. Because the truth is, when your soul gets tired of waiting, it will find a way to break the silence. I used to think silence was emptiness. Now I know silence is a teacher. But when I first entered it, it felt like death. No noise, no distraction, just me and my stuff. The old wounds, the unshed grief, the voices I inherited that never belonged to me. I met my inner child. He was still hiding under the table, flinching at loud voices, still waiting to be chosen, still apologizing for existing. I met my inner woman. She was exhausted from always bending, always pleasing, always feeling like too much and not enough at the same time. I met the man I had built, strong, silent, protective, but distant. He didn't know how to hold love without choking it, and in the silence, I started listening, not fixing, not escaping, just listening. And for the first time in my life, I realized I didn't need to become anything. I just needed to stop abandoning who I already was. No one tells you this when you're growing up. To really live, you will have to die many times. Not physically, but spiritually, emotionally, symbolically. Every identity you cling to, every story you use to define yourself, they will one day stop working. And when they do, you'll either mourn them or fight to resurrect something that no longer fits. I had to let parts of me die. The overachiever, the people pleaser, the man who needed approval to feel worthy. The spiritual bypasser who thought love and light meant never getting angry. Letting them go wasn't easy, but it was sacred. Because every death made room for truth, for soul, for my own voice, raw, messy, and honest. Eventually, I stopped chasing healed, because healing isn't a finish line. It's a relationship with yourself, your soul, your source. I walk the path now not because I'm broken, but because I'm whole enough to keep going deeper. This is the way that walks with me. The Tao beneath my name, the breath before the breakthrough, the space where mystery and truth become one. And you? You're walking it too, maybe not the same way, but I know you've felt it, that quiet voice saying, there's more for you. There is, and it begins right here.